Here. I am back. It is Sunday. It is brunch time, and let me make sure that the stream is working. Welcome back. If you are back again, welcome. If this is your first time, I am Julie. I am the social work expat, and it looks like it's live. I am going to microphone check 1 2 1 2 on this here phone. And as soon as I know the sound is working, I will get started. I hear sound. We are live and in color, and I am very thankful to all of you all who are joining. And I am thankful to have internet access so that I can once again run my mouth about AI and life things. I'm Julie. I'm the social work expat. I am here. Hello, Mama. Hi, Mama. I cannot see the chat. I can see the chat on my phone, but I can't see the chat for LinkedIn. So if I have any friends on LinkedIn, I am sorry that I cannot see your chat just yet. Hopefully, I'll get that taken care of. And I was only 1 minute late. Anybody who has been around me and my fumbling and bumbling with these lovely live streams and teaching myself something new while streaming, which is something new, knows that me being 1 minute late is a big deal. Like a big deal in a good way. So let me just get started. And I'm going to say, I feel like I am looking incredibly pale. I feel like Dracula's cousin at this point because the very nice young lady at the Sally Beauty here helped me pick out an equivalent color to what I usually use, but in a different brand. And this is very much giving 1B braiding hair from high school. This that was, I think, the last time my hair was this dark, and it is an adjustment. It makes me look super pale, but that's okay. As my daughter likes to say, I am this pale. I might as well accept it and move on. What do I do on Sunday brunch? I run my mouth, and sometimes it is very much brunch chat focused. Today, I am going to do my little stuff where I talk about my lashes. You weren't going to say anything this time. I beat you to it. But my hair looks nice, and the delivery to get my nails taken care of, that's nice too. I hope that you have had a wonderful week. I have said who I am. If you are on LinkedIn, please feel free to check my LinkedIn um, profile if you are curious as to who this lady is and why she is on your screen. Ah, there's the chat. Cool beans. Now I'm going to talk about the perfume. So, today I have a sample from ScentSplit, and this is Attar Collection, Adder Collection, Crystal Love for Her, right? I heard about Adder Collection last year, Attar Collection last year, and I got a sample from ScentSplit. The light doesn't even show it, but I got a sample of the Azalea from Scent Split last year. I really liked that one, and I am not saying that I don't like this one. I don't need a full bottle of this one. Adder Collection perfumes and fragrances are, in the grand scheme of fragrances, low cost. But in the grand scheme of the way that my budget is set up, this right here, I want to say that Adder Collection is about $100 to $120 a bottle. Theoretically, that's not that high of a price, but this smells like Golden Sands. And I believe that it is Al Rahab. I think they're on Amazon. They have Golden Sand. I have a perfume oil at home. I'm not at home. That is Golden Sand. I spent less than $25 for sure, less than $25 for a 1 ounce bottle of perfume oil of Golden Sand. Everywhere that I move, all I smell is Golden Sand. This is very nice if you have the money and you're just one of those people who likes to spend money on fragrances because it makes you feel good. By all means, do what makes you feel good and buy Crystal Love for her. But if you just want to smell good and you don't care if you spent a bunch of money on it, please, by all means, go get Golden Sand. Golden Sands. It smells really nice. I have always gotten compliments when I've worn Golden Sands, and you can save yourself some money. Don't get me wrong, this right here, this little 2 ml spray will definitely get used, but it is not a scent that is new and different enough for me to want to buy. Okay, usually in my intro, I talk about who I am, what perfume I'm wearing, what craft I'm working on today. I haven't been able to work on a craft for these brunch live streams in a while because I have to use my hands for AI stuff. So there's no craft today. And then I talk about my lashes. I'm not going to talk about my lashes today because I am away from home and they aren't the way that they could be. So I'll just say that. I am now going to ask. It's story time. If you are waiting to hear about the AI tools chat, it is coming right after story time. So let me open a new window. This story today, the question I always ask is actually I'm gonna use Gemini for this. I'll use Gemini, which used to be Bard. So the question that I always ask during these virtual brunches is who is benefiting from the story that you are telling yourself? So today's story is coming from the family group chat, and I told my son that I would give him credit. I don't know if he's watching, but Face, if you're watching, I'm giving you your credit as you deserve. I'm going to ask Gemini to tell me, please tell me how how many Dunkin' locations there are in Massachusetts. Massachusetts. I think I spelled that wrong. And I am Gemini and these other chatbots get a little wordy, so I'm going to tell it to please respond in 10 words or fewer. Really, I only need the number. So let's see what it says. Why am I asking this? My son, did I spell it right? I don't know. Hold on, let me see. I spelled it right. So there are over 1,000 Dunkin' locations in Massachusetts alone. That's a lot. That does not include Tim Hortons, which may or may not still be in Massachusetts. I think the location that was in the town I grew up in Connecticut closed some years ago. Oh, the Duncan question was yours? I'm sorry, Mama. Glenn gave the response, but let me make sure I give you your credit. The Duncan locations question was yours. The Chick-fil-A question was Glenn's. You're right. So, why am I saying this? This is one coffee chain's locations in one state. The last time there are a few Duncans here in South Carolina. I haven't seen because I haven't looked for any in California, but when we first moved to South Carolina, there were zero Dunkin' Donuts. Yes, we had a Tim Hortons and it was on East Main Street. The Tim Hortons closed. That I guess it was a cute little place. I never went. There are over 1,000 of one coffee franchise in Massachusetts alone. There were 7 Dunkin' Donuts in the town that I grew up in when we moved. It was 50,000, 60,000 people who lived in that town. Why did we need so many Dunkin' Donuts? That doesn't include McDonald's and their coffee, Tim Hortons, whether they were there or not, um, Cumberland Farms, their coffee, um, Starbucks and their coffee. Ah, so if you ever feel like I can't do XYZ thing because someone else is already doing it, there are 1,000 Dunkin' Donuts locations. Sorry, Dunkin'. There are 1,000 locations just in Massachusetts. You could probably sneeze, trip, roll across the street, and get to another Dunkin', and they are all profitable. That means that what you have to offer, even if it is the exact same thing as what someone else has to offer, the exact same thing, you are valuable and your services and products are valuable and can be profitable. So I will end my little story time today with the same question that I usually ask. Who is benefiting from the stories that you are telling yourself? And this right here is an example of a story that I know I've told myself and that I know that there are other people because not all of my thoughts are original, that other people have thought and felt the exact same way. What you have to offer is valuable. Please remember that. And I am going to add one other thing that is not on the screen. And I'm going to put I'll put this up. We watch Barbie movies. Even now, with my children being they are fully grown, they're past fully grown. We watch Barbie movies. And one of the Barbie movies has a quote, the animated ones, has a quote that I have loved for years. And it is Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses. And Barbie says to the little Lacey character, I don't remember what they called this particular one in this movie, but she says to her, big or small, there is a difference only you can make. And in Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses, that particular little Lacey character is the one who saved everybody. She saved the kingdom and her sisters and everybody. She thought she was too little to make a difference, but it's not true. The smallest things that we do have effects on other people. And please never feel like what you're doing is too small to make a difference, because it does. Hold on. Yay! You put it in the chat. Big or small, there is a difference only you can make. Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses. It is on a board at home. I am not at home, so I just have to put it from memory, but I love that quote and it is very, very true. Now, drum roll, please. It is time for me and my conjecture to start my mess with this AI stuff. Okay, so today's AI tools chat, I ask, is free access to AI chatbots disappearing? And why should you care? I'm going to go back to a post that I made on my blog back in November of 2023. And I have to remember something, that based on the Pew Research study that was published in August of 2023, only 18% of Americans had used ChatGPT at that time. And that doesn't mean that they've used it repeatedly, just that they knew about it and they used it. That was only, hold on, math is not my, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, 6 months ago. 6 months ago, less than 1/5 of the US population had used ChatGPT. Why did they start with ChatGPT? Because 6 months ago, ChatGPT, which I'm showing on the screen right now, was the only accessible game in town. And ChatGPT, which is the AI chatbot owned and operated by OpenAI, is free. Back in August, they had introduced the paid version, the first paid version. Let's be for real. First paid version had already been introduced back in August. We are now 6 months down the road from this Pew Research study, right? And I don't know if anyone has done another study to find out how many people in the United States have used AI chatbots, but the numbers are not high. And the way that things are going, the numbers might not ever get that high for free access, which is, I feel, incredibly unfortunate. AI has changed my life. Changed it. Changed my life in ways that I never would have anticipated when I got my first AI headshots back in April of 2023. And I would love for applied AI tools to be able to change other people's lives the same way it's changed mine. But if the barrier to entry is the price of admission, we might have a problem because I'm going to show this right here. This is the account that I used to teach myself prompt engineering back in July of 2023. This is the free version of ChatGPT, and I was able to ask many different questions to help me learn prompt engineering. And if you're on YouTube, all of my fumbling and bumbling is up on the channel. And if you are bored one day or you just want to learn more about the progression that has happened so quickly in this AI space, my little videos chronicle that. But since then, we have gotten some additional players that have free access. We have Gemini. This is Google's AI chatbot. And when I asked about Duncan, Gemini is the one that answered the question. And then we have Claude. This one is by Anthropic. Claude has a free version. And if you see this super, super little teeny tiny right down here, where it says Claude.ai is in beta release and may display incorrect or harmful information, right? Right down here at the bottom of Gemini, and I have to move the glasses to read this, Gemini may display inaccurate info, including about people. So please, it doesn't say please. So double check its responses. And then there's a link right here that says your privacy and Gemini apps, right? Now, right here, down at the bottom of ChatGPT, it says ChatGPT can make mistakes. Consider checking important information. Okay. These are for the free versions. They all have a disclaimer at the bottom that these AI chatbots can make mistakes and to double check their responses. The paid versions ain't no better. They might give additional information, and the only one that I pay for right now is ChatGPT. But the inaccuracies are inherent in the models. And yet, I and many other people, not that many, but other people, are paying for inaccurate information because it's fast. And with Gemini, and not the free version, not this version of ChatGPT, but the paid version, there are several paid versions at this point, actually. There is ChatGPT Plus, that is an individual account, is $20 a month. Then they recently added Chat GPT Teams. So if you want to collaborate between groups, but not at an enterprise level, so not for businesses, you can pay an additional $5 a month and have collaboration happening, right? Then they have Chat GPT enterprise level. And that one, last time I checked, or last time I heard, which was during Voice and AI back in September, Chat GPT Enterprise was $60 per month per user. And I am sure that there were minimums that businesses had to come in at, right? Claude has a pro version that I have not investigated the pricing on, and Gemini, which used to be Bard, has a pro version that I have also not investigated the pricing on. I'm going to go back to this thumbnail. Is free access to AI chatbots disappearing? A few weeks ago, during a lunchtime live stream, fact checking fact checking takes work and thinking, and a lot of times people don't like to do that. Um, Also, there is an assumption that what is connected to the internet is true. That's not always the case. So, fact checking doesn't always happen. But even with all of the evil genie tendencies of Gemini, ChatGPT, and Claude, they are remarkable tools that are wonderful for people to learn and access for free to expedite and automate some tasks, as well as using the AI chatbots in an assistive, almost in a um, um, special needs assistive capacity. Hold on. What happened to not believing everything you see? Oh, that has to be a rhetorical question, right, sweetie? Because, that's not what happens. Just like guilty until, sorry, just like innocent until proven guilty, it is an ideal that is not necessarily the case, unfortunately. Now, I opened the three chatbots, ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude, so that I could test out some of the prompts that I had already, hold on. Yes, it was a Freudian slip. Okay, so I have kept a separate file of every single prompt session that I have done since I started teaching myself prompt engineering back in July. I am going to access one of those first ones. Okay, you can block me if you feel the need to. I'm going to access one of my first chat sessions, and see if I can get similar responses from ChatGPT, Gemini, which I did not use when I was first teaching myself prompt engineering, and Claude, which I did not use when I was first teaching myself prompt engineering. While I look for, because I didn't set this up in ahead of time. While I look for that, I'm going to run a commercial. Let's see where it is. I have
had it not been for her.
Yes, I do.
Very dynamite.
So
Those people, if you know her,
Yes.
that made it happen.
If I can get this to the right place.
Really going right into.
Okay. I am introducing Book Doula, custom writing plans, and accountability partnership service. And here's a picture of my first author's book. See, my nails are still the same color and everything. This is Queen Bee Chronicles, empowering women to challenge biases and spark change by Melissa Bloom, EDD. And I'm going to play this commercial I'm going to try to play this commercial while I look for this. Mm-mm. Let's see what happens.
And this, she's mentioned in the very beginning of my thank you chapter. Julissa Nixon kicked my butt on this book. She was like, "Girl, you're gonna write in 50 days. I want the draft." And I was like, "There's no way I can write a book in 50 days." But she's one of those people, if you know her,
Yes.
that made it happen. And she offered me a lot of very honest feedback. I think she's a very dynamite woman boss, and this book would not have been written had it not been for her.
Yes, I do know her well, and I'm so glad you mentioned her. I've been following her for a while, and she is such a quiet force, but one is so intensely positive and really wants to see you do well. And that you is like anybody who crosses her. Really wants to see you do well. And I know she's doing her own thing in the AI.
She is.
And make sure that we drop her socials in this particular podcast. But we want to shout you out, Julissa, for being a boss, making boss moves in your community. So thank you for that. Another segment that we like.
Commercial. Who would have thought? And this is made with Canva. Thanks so much, Canva. All right. I got the prompt engineering session up from July 11th, and I just closed it. So I'll open it again. I don't even remember what I was doing on July 11th, 2023, but during my lunch, I was teaching myself prompt engineering. Let's see what question I asked. Thank you so much for your help, Liana. You were very helpful. I am using AI tools, but some things escape me, and I very much appreciate your help. And I appreciate your feedback on which background worked the best for today's little presentation. Okay, please provide a summary. Okay. All right, I will take this one right here. I was able to do this. Okay, so on July 11th, I was able to do this using Bard. This is a very simple question about summarizing a particular book title. Now, with all of the lawsuits regarding copyright and intellectual property, with, yeah, your government name, because my government name showed up. So here we go. But this was actually a question I asked Bard, Gemini, back on July 11th. This is a copy and paste directly from my Word document, my word processing application. And this question is, please summarize the main points of the following book in fewer than 100 words. The book title is Lean In, Women, Work, and the Will to Lead, right? So I'm going to copy this, even though I already had it copied, because I'm going to ask all three of the free versions of these chatbots to summarize the main points of this book. I have all of the receipts in Word transcript, word processing, we'll call it word transcript format that these chatbots, this one in particular, was able to do this back in July. Let's see if it's able to do it now. Okay, so I pressed submit. That's okay. We're not in witness protection, so nobody is really looking for us. All right, it did it. So right here in fewer than 100 words, Gemini gave a summary of the main points of Sheryl Sandberg's book, Lean In, right? One of the good things, and I mentioned this in my Prompt Engineering 101 AI tools chat, that is good about Gemini is that you can double check the response and you just click the G and wait to see what comes of it. So we'll do that. And as you can see, even with my dark background, all of this is green. And if you see green, that means that there are web pages that corroborate what Gemini has provided. And if they're red, or sometimes on my streams, because my screen is dark, it will be like a brownish color. If you see that, that means that there is no outside reference that you can go to corroborate what Gemini has provided. But all right, it did it. Cool beans. Now let's see if the free version of ChatGPT can do the same thing. And this was a very simple prompt. Yep, it did it too. Very nice. Sheryl Sandberg. Yep, all right. So ChatGPT was able to do that as well. Now, let's ask Claude and copy paste. All right, we're going to paste it and we're going to send and see what Claude is going to come up with. It said, here's a 92-word summary. It talks about Sheryl Sandberg. Okay, they all did it. Good times. Let's say I wanted to do something a little more complex. Okay, all of these things on the 11th were summaries of books. Let's try looking at one of my prompt engineering sessions. While I'm looking for that, I'm just going to put this back up. This picture, I made this one with Playground, and I want to say that today's AI image thumbnail is one of the best ones that I've done so far, or one of the best ones that I was able to get the AI tool to do so far with very little prompting. I'm very impressed with Playground. I say as I look for another prompt engineering session. How about that one? This was on the 10th, and this one was actually a pretty interesting one. When I was teaching myself prompt engineering, there were three, what I learned are called use cases that I would work on every day during my lunch. One of them was a job or work related question. One of them was a business related question, like ideas for businesses, or if someone is looking to start a business, but they don't know if it would be profitable or if there's a market for it. I asked ChatGPT about that. And then one of my use cases every day was about Black women in the United States. I always led with that, or I always included that because I am a Black woman in the United States, and I wanted to see what ChatGPT had to say about me. What I found out is that a lot of the time it didn't have very much accurate information to say about me. Okay. This one was a use case looking at the differences and the similarities between professional social workers and life coaches. So I am actually going to revamp this question and see what ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude can come up with for these. Can you get what to lie? Can you get ChatGPT to lie? You don't have to get it to lie. It does that on its own. Like it gives the disclaimer at the bottom because it's true. It One of the things about prompt engineering is that if you don't have background knowledge about the subject that you're asking these chatbots to do work on, they can make up things or say things that are not accurate and you would have no idea. So, the best way to use these chatbots is to work from your own knowledge base and then go back and double check that they're not lying to you. The terminology that is used, hold on because I can't see. If you want to see what it will make things inaccurate about, you have, if you are on my YouTube right now, and you are, because that's where I can see your chat. If you are on YouTube right now, and if you sat through any of my Faceless October live streams or the webinar, you know that I'm just gonna answer this question and then go back to this. See this right here? This little circle up here in the right corner? If you have a Google account, you have access to Gemini. Way back 3 weeks ago, really two, but way back 3 weeks ago, this was bard.google.com. Now it is Gemini, like the zodiac sign, .google.com. So funny, so the chatbots don't have personalities just yet, but the paid versions of ChatGPT, you are able to tune it and you're able to make it respond to you with a certain quote unquote personality. And we can talk about this next week if you want to, Mama. There is such a thing as AI agents and conversational agents. This is a job. Giving AI chatbots or AI agents, because this is just a chatbot, but um, when you call customer service, right? Most of the time, you're not talking to a person. Even if it sounds like a person, most of these large companies, you're not talking to a person anymore. It's an AI agent, and these agents need to be made. They need to be generated, and that's a whole job. So, um, going back to Gemini, if you want to test out asking the AI chatbots, the free versions, questions to see what is called term now hallucinate about. They're right here available to you for free. Hold on. For free for now. So I can't read this. Hold on. You might be able to do that. Um, the technology is different now, but it's not, I can't tell how different it is because I haven't tested it. And that's why I'm running my mouth on this live stream. Let me try to revamp this prompt, right? So this is the response that I got, like the beginning of the response that I got from ChatGPT back on July 10th, 2023. All of this is on my YouTube channel. So I am going to give ChatGPT a role. I'm going to say, please, nope, let's go to the beginning of this. Please act as a I was going to say a disability examiner because this is what we used to have to do when we would evaluate people's work history and determine whether they were eligible for Social Security disability. But there's another name for this. Please act as a labor consultant who specializes in evaluating people's work history and what do we want to say? Generating, suggesting transferable skills and industries people can transition into. Please compare and contrast professional social workers' skills and experiences with life coaches' skills and experiences. Okay, so when I did this on July 10th, I did not realize the my ability to make more detailed prompts. We are many months down the road now, and I'm going to make this more detailed. What I'm going to tell ChatGPT, which I'm going to, once this is done, copy and paste it. Please compare and contrast professional social workers' skills and experiences with life coaches' skills and experiences in your response. Include the education requirements for both um, jobs, the client bases for both jobs, and the salary and or earnings yearly, the median salary for each job. I want the response to come out as a table, so I'm going to ask for that as well. Please format your response as a two-column table with column, let's try again. Column one is professional social worker. And column 2, life coach. All right, I'm going to copy this because I'm going to paste it into Gemini and Claude next after we see what ChatGPT has to say. This is an expanded version of a prompt that I had already provided. This is not the kind of table I wanted, like at all. I don't like that. So please revise the above response. Include salary and earnings ranges. So ChatGPT decided it was going to try to do a cop out and be like, it depends for life coaches, and I don't like that. So I want it to do what I asked it to do. Client bases. And it's still not doing what I asked. What earnings do life coaches, do life coach certification programs usually advertise as a consequence of completing their program? I'm not even saying please at this point. Tell me the earnings life coach certification programs. Okay. I didn't write that just right, but let's see what it says. And this median salary for professional social workers, I never made that amount of money as a professional social worker. A wide range of potential earnings. So, the free version of ChatGPT will not answer my question completely, even though I've tried to finesse this 3 different ways. Also, I don't know. It says median salary varies by location, experience, and sector. And also, this table is not what I asked for. So, when I did this back in July, I was able to get this information and it was put together in the right way. And it also provided me with income information. So, we have some change in the past 7 months. Here for Gemini, I'm going to just paste the same question. I'm asking it to please act as a labor consultant who specializes in evaluating people's work history and suggesting transferable skills and industries people can transition into. Please compare and contrast professional social workers' skills and experiences with life coaches' skills and experiences. In your response, include education requirements for both jobs, the client bases for both jobs, and the median salary and or yearly earnings for each job. Please format your response as a 2-column table with column 1, professional social worker, and column 2, let's say it's a 3, let's make it a 3 column. Maybe that's my fault. And one of the things I learned is I might get mad at the machine, but sometimes it's user error. And I'm going to chalk up the format not being right with ChatGPT to my error. All right, let's see what it says. Free versions don't always work the way you want. Now, okay, it has comparisons here. Licensing is mandatory. There's no specific degree requirement. The client bases, skills and experience, median salary 2022, yearly earnings range. So, as we can see, the free version of ChatGPT was not having it, not giving me the information that I asked for. One of the things that I really like about Gemini is that if you ask in a specific way and it's feeling generous that particular moment, you can get exactly what you asked for. So I'm liking this free version. Okay. And it answered the questions. It answered the questions. So Gemini answered the questions in the same way that ChatGPT had answered back in July with one prompt, not with 3 or 4 prompts, which is what I just did with ChatGPT. Now we're gonna go to Claude and I'm going to paste, if it'll let me, okay. I'm going to paste the exact same prompt into Claude. Please act as a labor consultant who specializes in evaluating people's work history and suggesting transferable skills and industries people can transition into. Please compare and contrast professional social workers' skills and experiences with life coaches' skills and experiences. In your response, include the education requirements for both jobs, the client bases for both jobs, and the median salary and/or yearly earnings for each job. Please format your response as a 3-column table with column 1, professional social worker, and column 2, life coach. Let's see what happens. Now, if Claude, which is not connected to the internet, there we go. Just like the free version of ChatGPT is not connected to the internet, they used to give like a long song and dance about how this is not up to date information and all of that. Let's see if it just answers. It just answers. So no more of this long song and dance about how the information is outdated. It's just giving an answer. Okay, this is a much shorter comparison than Gemini provided. And the median salary is looking much more accurate than the median salary for, so the median salary for a professional social worker is looking much more accurate on Gemini and Claude than ChatGPT provided. So I'm going to go back to my thumbnail. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I have things to say about that. But why did I also ask about this? Is free access disappearing? A couple weeks ago, I was able to use Bard to make some like pictures. The pictures weren't great, but I will say that ever since that live stream, this is the exact same account, right? This is not a different account. I have not been able to make not one picture since then, not one. ChatGPT, the free version, you can't make pictures. You have to pay for that. And then Claude does not have the ability to make images at all. What I will say, I'm going to go back to ChatGPT. There are limits to, even for the paid version that I have of ChatGPT, there are limits to the number of interactions that you can have in a 3 hour period. My limit is 40 interactions every 3 hours. So if you saw just from me using this free version of ChatGPT, I had to argue with it back and forth, and that used up 4 interactions just to try to get it to give me what I asked for. So that's something to keep in mind. Gemini, I have not noticed that Gemini has a limit on the number of interactions that you can do in a 3 hour period, but when I tried to do a role based prompt session earlier, so late last week, but only a few days ago, it was giving me excuses and saying, oh, well, I'm not really that. And it was giving excuses and it was not doing the role prompting that it had done in the past, that I have Word document transcripts of all of those interactions from the free version. Now for Claude, Claude has a free version, right? Um, oh, I've been on here an hour? Okay. Claude has a free version. Claude, I do not know how many interactions you can do in a 3 hour period, but when it's getting to the limit, it will give a message like right above this little chat window, and it will say 3 messages remaining until whatever time. And then it will also say, like, I think maybe in red or something, upgrade to Claude Pro. I believe that's what it says. I have noticed because I use these every single day at this point, I have noticed that there are some incremental slowing down, contracting of availability and of responsiveness of the free versions of these chatbots. I'm going to open a new window. I'm going to open a new window. My computer doesn't like it when I do that. If you are on LinkedIn and watching this, please feel free to go up to the corner of your given LinkedIn and see the latest news about OpenAI. OpenAI now has a valuation at $80 billion. Why is this important? OpenAI's business structure is a nonprofit. So ChatGPT, theoretically, is run by a nonprofit who has private sector investment of Microsoft, and currently, I believe, if I read the article right, has venture capital investment by Thrive Capital. I have worked as a social worker for a while and worked in nonprofits. And I don't know if I've ever worked in a nonprofit that had venture capital funding behind it. I'm going to go back to my little thumbnail and ask this question again. If the nonprofit that runs ChatGPT is moving away from a nonprofit format, and you can look back at some of my speculation in an earlier virtual brunch, about some of the shenanigans that had happened. Mm, I forget when. Maybe December. Um, I'm not certain if OpenAI is going to remain a nonprofit. And if that is the case, the discussion about having an AI chatbot that was open for all and that was available to the general public will go right out the window. Because as soon as there's money to be made somewhere, and there is money to be made in AI, access goes behind paywalls. So, this is the nonprofit, and its access is slowly being weaned away from the free version, right? Then we have Claude. Claude, the company that owns Claude is Anthropic, and they are not a nonprofit. They are actually, business structure wise, they are a public benefit company. And what that means is that is a for profit company that has a mission focus and a particular tax strategy. Um, just like I don't know the inner workings of how these AI chatbots work, I don't understand tax structures and business structures like that. But I do know that Claude is a for profit company. For profit companies look for ways to make profit. Full stop. So, can't fault a for profit company for putting things behind paywalls the way that I could with a nonprofit. And now we come to Gemini, which used to be Bard. Alphabet, I believe that's what it's called. The parent company that owns Google, I believe it's Alphabet, is a for profit company. It's been a for profit company the entire time, as far as I know. So it really stands to reason that a for profit company would start, once it's shown profitability, and it has, start moving its functionality behind a paywall. Why do I care as a social worker and as the only AI certified social worker in the United States, possibly the world? I'm going back to my blog post. AI for the people and making AI accessible. Um, it's really feeling like that's not what the main players are looking to have happen. And I would really love to know from anybody, please, 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 if you're watching on LinkedIn, if you are watching on YouTube, if I wind up getting to clip this or do what I'm supposed to do and make these long live streams shorter, if you have any ideas about what we can do if these three main players, I'm not even talking about Microsoft's Copilot, I'm not talking about some of these other APIs, I'm not talking about AI agents, I am only talking about these main player AI chatbots. If free access to these AI chatbots go away, what can we do as regular people to use this applied AI tool? I would love to know. I would love for someone to clue me in to what we can do moving forward. Just in the 6 month span between August, this Pew Research study, and February, things have changed drastically in the AI space. What can we do to make sure that regular people like me, and probably most people who would be listening to me, would have access to these tools? That is it. That is my AI tools chat for today. I am going to look at what my daughter. I would love I would love to have big nerd talk. I love nerd talk because I am a big nerd. I love nerd talk and would love to know, are there other models available for people to use who don't have the club cover charge, right? Does that mean that you can't dance to the music because it is inside the club only? Or is there a club where you can dance to the same music for free? I would love to know. All right. If you are on LinkedIn and you were just here for the AI chat, thank you for joining me today. I have one other thing that I want to talk about, which is introducing the book doula services and talking about the 7 steps from idea to publication and what is coming next. But if that is not your jam, please feel free to turn off your live stream now. And I thank you so much for joining me today. If you are sticking around, I am going to put the commercial on again. While I take a little bit of
And this, she's mentioned in the very beginning of my thank you chapter. Julissa Nixon kicked my butt on this book. She was like, "Girl, you're gonna write in 50 days. I want the draft." And I was like, "There's no way I can write a book in 50 days." But she's one of those people, if you know her,
Yes.
that made it happen. And she offered me a lot of very honest feedback. I think she's a very dynamite woman boss, and this book would not be written had it not been for her.
Yes, I do know her well, and I'm so
Okay, so if you have a book idea in somewhere in your heart and you want to get your book from your heart to your hands, I am available. Like my old pastor in Connecticut used to say, we are not the only church going to glory, but we're one of them. I am not the only person who can help you with customized book writing plans and accountability partnership, but I'm one. And this 7 step system, there are AI tools that I walk my clients through for each one of these steps. And as this is your project, I would only be a doula, a doula is a support. I can provide you with the information and the knowledge and the cheerleader who also protects your intellectual property and your privacy through these 7 steps. I'm going to move this over a little bit. So, book doula, custom writing plans and accountability partnership. I use my social work skills to help be a support and a cheerleader to aspiring published authors. And I use my AI skills to help create a custom writing plan so that you can birth your book. If you are interested, the email is in this particular slide, and I have a Google Doc that I am happy to send to you to gauge your interest, and we can then set a free 30-minute consultation, all protecting your intellectual property and your privacy. I have some clients who have not shouted my name, my whole government name, to the rooftops, but are doing amazing things. And I applaud them privately until they're ready, if ever, to have me applaud them publicly. We already went through that. We don't need to listen to that again. Let's see if it'll let me move forward. Nope. We'll do it again. Will it let me move forward now? No, 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 no. Okay, it's gonna let me move forward at some point. No, not yet. Almost. Okay, here is my next harebrained scheme. So, doing the little prompt engineering that I do every single day, the machines say that it takes 3 to 6 months to complete and publish an ebook. I have seen online where people say that you can complete your ebook in a weekend. I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna stream it. So, this coming weekend is an ebook writing marathon. If you want to join me, if you want to work on the 7 steps that I just showed together to go from an idea to a publication in a weekend, or at least to take us as far as we can get in a weekend, feel free to join me. It will be on my YouTube, and this is my YouTube. If you are on Facebook or if you are on LinkedIn, this right here is my YouTube, and I recommend and ask for you to subscribe for more if you would like. I am available and happy to help. I will also say I'm going to move back. So, my goal, hold on because I can't see. Yes, I am good. I am good at moving an agenda forward. And I am good at moving an agenda forward in a way that a lot of people don't realize. And in a way that I didn't realize until I looked back at the work that I have done over the years. So, my goal is to get my book done and to have people coming alongside, and we can do co-working together while I live stream going through the process to make my book. What is my book, you ask? My goal is to get my social work book ready to go by March 1st, because March 1st is the beginning of Social Work Month. What better way to usher in Social Work Month 2024 than to have my ebook completed? And my goal, the idea for my book is that it will be talking about social workers' transferable skills as superpowers. A lot of times we don't even know the abilities that we have, the strength that we have until it is brought to our awareness. And my ebook, fingers crossed, is to help bring that awareness to our profession as social workers. Join me if you would like. It'll be on YouTube. I have come to the end of my mouth running for today. And I'm going to close today out the same way I do every week, just about every week. And I can't really see. I'm going to do like this. So, thank you so much for joining me today. And if nobody else has told you this week, you look fabulous. You smell even better. I hope that you eat food that is delightful to your tongue and your tummy, that you are able to wear clothes that feel good, that you are able to experience textures that you enjoy. And my profound hope for you is that you are able to hear and walk in environments that are safe and affirming for you. If nobody else told you, you know that idea that you talked about in the meeting this past week? If nobody else heard it, I heard it, and it was a good idea. If you need someone to help you flesh out that idea and you would like to work together, feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to put this back. I don't want it to make noise though. Okay. This is my email, and I would love to be your book doula, your accountability partner, your cheerleader. I wish you all good things this week, and I hope that you take care, and I will see you next time. Bye.